Hello, everyone. This is Chapter 1, a book review podcast. I'm Frank Perrine,
Cody Decker.
and today we're going to be going over...
Etiquette and Espionage.
Yes. It was a recommendation from...
They have a couple usernames. Everyone has
Yeah.
different usernames, but their username was Brittany that I saw.
Brittany, yeah. And I'm always bad like that because I'm old. But
I get like mad at people. Like, just have the same one.
I'm still getting a lot of the technical stuff, the names and stuff. But I'll get there.
So this is our first fan request.
This is our first fan request book review. Originally, I heard a sample of it, and I was pretty intrigued, and we got it. So
The thing that got me for their sales pitch was there's a steampunk dog,
yes,
which I much preferred the dragon. I don't know why the steampunk dragon wasn't mentioned.
yeah. There was it was. I don't know if because it was a young adult book, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that part of it was. It was a little laggy for me, kind of like a Harry Potter kind of feel to it, at least to me. I actually listened to it twice because the first time I would kind of lost it, and so I listened to it a second time, and I enjoyed it better.
This I was thinking this was definitely not for me, but it's a very cozy thing that I can
Yes.
see people enjoying.
Yes, I definitely think that people would enjoy this book. I could listen to anything, so I enjoyed it, but it probably is not a series that I would continue to read.
Yeah, and this is by Gail Carriger, and the narrator is Moira Quirk, and I feel like she did a lot of the heavy lifting for my enjoyment of this.
She did.
Her voices were so fun.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, wow, like she is doing every character was way more enjoyable hearing it.
Even Irish, she was doing everybody.
Yeah,
That was a cool part of it.
like handling lisps, and I was like,
yeah. And I think when you listen to the book or read the book, like I said, I think for some people it would be really enjoyable. For me, I'm more kind of not action-packed Pee-wee, but
yeah, I'll tell you the part where I was like, because I was like, okay, this is like fun. I was like the first couple of chapters, all I was thinking was like, wow, this voice actor is really
yeah.
like pulling her weight. And then like there was a part where they were going like, oh, what is it, Highwaymen? And the person goes, no, worse, Fly-waymen. And I was just like yelling in my car like, don't. I was like,
Don't do it.
I was like, I was laughing. I was like, this is whatever this is. I'm gonna read the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
you've earned my like entire attention now, because I thought I was like, okay, whatever this is a fun little adventure thing.
Yeah. And it was good. It was the dog was probably really cool. I think they should have done more things like that to push this whole kind of steampunk kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
I think it lost it sometimes in that aspect.
Because they mention like mechanimals and like robot androids
Right.
every now and then.
Right.
I don't know if it's I just want to know like, well, how do they work?
Yeah.
I know like that's probably, I mean, this is like a sequel series or something. Like this is not like the way that you would start in this setting.
Right.
So I don't know if like all that's like,
And I think if maybe we started somewhere else, it would be more enjoyable in that aspect.
yeah.
Because then we would know what those things are. I mean, the best part of not the best part, but one of the best parts of the book was when the dog takes a dump.
Yeah.
The steam dog. Oh, that was so funny.
Well, and I remember like there was like and I think like the ending was kind of like like because I was like smiling and I was like really
Yeah.
enjoying that ending with like the dog and stuff, and then
Yes.
especially the music they picked like really helped it. And I was like, oh, it's over. And that's also when it sent my mind like, okay, yeah, this is like a pleasant book you would like read, put down,
Yeah.
time to jump into the next one.
Yeah. And even like when she had recommended, we were talking about werewolves in it, and yeah, there's a werewolf in it,
Yeah. Who wears a top hat?
which is a teacher.
Yeah.
And the vampire's a teacher. And
Yeah.
I liked the thought process on how they could stay on the school and how, So, I mean, it was pretty cool. It was well thought out. I think the whole series is probably like that. I've seen some fan art for that type. So it was pretty interesting. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was It was a thing that, like, honestly, if I was like on TV or I was watching TV and it was on, I'd be like, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm like I would be strongly against
No.
listening to the sequel. I'm just like, all right, well, that was that.
Yeah. And like I said, I think if I might listen to the sequel, because it really didn't like the way I felt after reading the book. Like, okay, I probably need to know more about it, and I think I would enjoy it more if I knew more about it.
Yeah, it is. I haven't really gotten too much into British culture in media.
Yes.
With like, so I was like a lot of it was still fresh for me.
Yeah. It was fresh for me too.
But yeah, what'd you think of the opening of the story? Because like, the hook for me was basically Fly-waymen, and I was like, all right, you passed my test for having my attention.
I liked the whole like kind of Laura Croft feel of this girl. She just like is out there, brave, just doesn't really care what the structure of how she's supposed to act.
Yeah,
I really like that, and I like the two kids that were picked up too.
yeah, I like
That
the one
one
with
guy, the one boy. It's hilarious.
Soapy.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, is it Soap? Yeah.
yeah, Soaper. Because he's called Soap because he needs more than the other boys. That was
Yeah.
like the phrase.
It was really good. I like that. And like I said, I don't know, without the narrator, I don't know if I would be that into it.
Yeah. Except I'm thinking like British stories are the only one like you really have to get that accent down too.
Yeah.
'Cause-
But she was getting the Irish one.
It was
Everything.
every character. I was like, that was so cool. Like, I don't think I've enjoyed a voice actor's range in a book as much.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like I said, that part of it, I enjoyed it. And it's weird because it sounds like, well, do you like it or you don't like it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like most books that I read. But there's some things that I just can't.
Well, I guess the way to go about it would be, is this for the target audience?
Yes.
Like, is this recommended for them?
For the target audience, yes.
Yeah.
For young adult, yes.
I think it's a great young adult book.
Yeah. If you read anything like, what's the one with the guy with the lightning? Perry.
Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief.
So if you listen to stuff like that, this book is like right kind of down your alley.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enjoyable. It's fun. There's not even too much violence. It's kind of like I always thought about Harry Potter when I was listening to it.
Yeah, it's mostly like we have to run away, we have to escape.
Yeah.
We have to do this.
Yeah. And there's all these twists and mysteries, and I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh no, that thing that like could be a danger. It's a danger now, and now we have to.
Right,
We
right.
are just children. We can't like fight them off.
Right. Right.
I really it handles like race stuff too, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Sooties.
Yeah.
That wasn't a racial slur. That's a group of people who work in the
Yes.
thing. But then,
yes. That was kind of unexpected though.
yeah, I was like, oh, it's gonna do that. It's gonna cover that topic.
And what's really weird is it just covered it for like 3 sentences, and that was it.
Yeah, and then like way down the line, like her friend like says
Yeah.
something, and she's kind of
Yeah.
like, don't talk like that.
I felt that was kind of weird too, because I'm like, why, how am to put the kid in that environment, and then to, single him out like he's an oddity, and then try to make it seem like, but it's okay.
Yeah. So like the defense for it would be, this is in the past. So like it is like this isn't like what this story did, but when anything takes place in the past and protagonists are always like, "Oh yeah, I have complete modern
Yes.
senses of
But I
this."
could get away with this.
Yeah. So I did like that they were like taken aback, and they weren't like, hey, I thought it was like a realistic way of approaching like an innocent ignorance about it, where it was like, oh yeah, do you know the housemaids that like in this city because you're both
Yeah.
the same race? I was like, that is how they would talk.
Yeah, and I liked it. I liked the robots and stuff.
Yeah. The robot dragon.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
pretty
how
cool.
like you would, if you feed it like food, it just stores it, and then you have to give it coal, and it like
Right.
like that's what generates its
like
power.
the dog, the Cole,
Yeah, Bumble Snoot.
Bumble Snoot. Yes.
He was fun. Yeah, I thought Yeah, I was like, this isn't for me, but I was enjoying it.
Yes, yeah, and I'm sure we're going to be dealing with books like that. So, I really like the fact that this was our first recommendation. So, definitely not dogging the book out. Don't get me wrong, because I'm sure there's going to be books that we're going to be like, no.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between books that I hate and books that aren't for me, but I can
Right.
see enjoying.
Right. Like this book, it was fun, and I really like the whole voice. That was really cool.
I mean, that's like half of my enjoyment. Maybe a little more than half, actually.
I'd say a little bit more half for me.
Was
Yeah.
like I was just enjoying. Like it is like again, it was more, but it's like I don't know if they expected They didn't even expect us to like be in love with it. They just wanted to hear. Like I mean, if you're like,
Yeah.
I thought you guys were gonna love this book.
Right.
So like that would be crazy.
That would be a little different.
Yeah.
But and I like the whole, different classes and different types of how you were supposed to be. And what I really liked was kind of like the whole Red Room kind of feel, where that school was strictly to teach you how to kill people and be a spy.
Yeah, and be a Black Widow and like
Yes.
do seduction and stuff.
That was cool.
That was a bit of like another bit of comedy too, where and they mentioned scenes where she like tries to bat her eyes and the guy's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's fun."
Yeah.
Stuff like that's fun, and they're like
Yeah.
they make a lot of jokes where it's,
Yeah.
like one of the persons is more endowed than the others, and they're
Yes.
like, "All right, we'll have to give you guys time to be able to do this part of the seduction,"
Yeah.
but
And then they got like the soot on her finger on her glove, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!"
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the part where they're running and she's like, and people can see my bare ankles. It's like, oh yeah, I'm having fun. This is
Yeah, how dare I go out without a glove?
Yeah.
I liked that part of it because it showed like thought process and structure. Because then you wonder what else, they're learning. They make a big deal about how she's just, in the wrong petticoat.
yeah.
Money going through the mud and it's crazy.
Yeah.
That part was cool. Like when she fought the werewolf and he tore up her petticoat. She's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it's the only one I have.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal.
I like too. The protagonist wasn't like annoying. They weren't the chosen one even.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is actually like this is like a relatable protagonist for like young kids to like
Yeah.
see, and it's not like, and then maybe even the later books, but it's not like, and then she discovered she's like the super spy of legend, and she is the steampunk. That the legends foretold. It's like, no, this is like a girl who's like trying to do this thing.
Yeah.
And she's like good at it, but like not the best.
Yeah, and then to find out what was the maid in her house? That
Like
was,
a robot.
No, not the robot. The other lady that was actually really important.
Oh, is that the one that? Yeah, and like the recurring thing where she's like very dramatic
Yes.
when they get like mugged.
Yes.
And then she's like, no, I'm like in. Yeah, and like throughout the book, she's like realizing that.
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the character development was okay. I just think that I would have enjoyed it more if I would have probably listened to the first one.
Yeah.
If I would have started from the very beginning, you have certain writers that can write books that you can pick up off. It doesn't matter. And then you have other writers that can do it in a way where it makes the people that read the books understand those things, like Fallen Likeout and Zombie, right? Zombie Fallout. And then some you really got to know it, and then when you know it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you read this book and it sucks to everyone else because you have a history of it, so you're gonna love it. It's like watching a Resident Evil movie. Do they suck? Yeah, but people that play Resident Evil, I mean, I kind of dig it because it brings that video game. I know all about it. So, it's just, I think when looking at books and looking at those things, especially like recommending to us, think about if we've never read it, would that be the book you would recommend? Or would you recommend the first one?
Yeah. Which I don't think it did that bad of a job.
No.
Not even saying that that's what you said, but just I found I enjoy just a paragraph explaining how robots work. If they're done creatively, I would enjoy. Like I was like, okay, so like, is there an AI? Is it like a magical thing? Like I wanted to know that.
Yeah.
And that's just like throughout the entire book. I'm like, did I miss the part where they explain how they can think and stuff?
Yeah, because they didn't really go into a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I was really getting intrigued when, she was in the school and then seeing the maid robots with the gears in their faces and no faces.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because they explained it just like they're there. Oh, the robot maids won't let boys do that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I did like, they break into like the boys' school.
Yeah.
And like the robots are like, and that was another bit of comedy I liked too, where like the robot like goes to catch them and it's like a security. I was just thinking of that BioShock thing where like, what was it, the Silent Boys or the Bell Boys or whatever, which, for like that one level. But, and it goes to catch them, but it wasn't programmed to handle more than one intruder, so it kind of gets like caught up, and it's like, oh yeah, like it doesn't even work that good.
And I like the ones with the cannons. That was pretty cool. I want to draw one of those. That was pretty tight.
Yeah. And it also makes sense that maybe I guess the protagonists don't get it, like how this. I mean, like a kid wouldn't get how like a car works.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So maybe that's part of like the experience is like they're experiencing this for the first time.
Yeah. And if you guys know this book and you guys read this book or have read this book, I mean, it'd be great. Like I said, I wouldn't mind looking at if there's another book that kind of can start you off with it. I would love it. Because I've already listened to it twice. So I would get an enjoyment out of reading the first one, because then a lot of those things might make sense. And not that they didn't make sense, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I did later find out that the werewolf, it's one of those werewolves that turns into a big wolf and not the man wolf.
Yes.
Which it's not the fault of the story, but I am disappointed anytime that happens.
Yeah.
I am always like, it's just a big wolf.
Yeah.
Which is how most of them are. Most werewolves in
Right.
stories are just
Right.
big wolves.
And I mean, that's what I mean about kind of feeling like Harry Potter to me. Like, the vampire teacher and the werewolf teacher. And they always left these little secrets like, Hogsworth. Well, oh my gosh, it's a vampire teacher. What do you eat?
Yeah. He's like, oh,
Yeah, and it's just I mean, it's enjoyable, I think, for that age, because your imagination's going, oh my, what does he eat, or what does he do? What does he do? How can he survive out of his region, and different things like that. I think for a young adult, I think that would be really cool. And
here's the I never read or watched Harry Potter because people kept calling me Harry Potter, so I was like, I'm not gonna watch it. So like. And now I'm just like, all right, well, I'll save it for something.
See, I don't think you look like Harry Potter.
You don't?
No.
Who do I look like?
Maybe Frodo. You're definitely the Lord of the Rings guy.
I didn't watch that either.
What?
Well, this is what I just found out too, because when it came out on like VHS or whatever, and it was like I remember that my grandparents, all the parents were there, all the kids were there,
yeah,
and they're like, no, the movie's scary, so all the kids have to go in this separate room, and I thought like, oh, it's a horror movie, I can't watch it, and I thought that until I was like 25, and someone just told me like, no, they just didn't want a bunch of kids ruining the movie.
Wow, you definitely got to watch those.
Yeah,
and you can watch them all now, starting from The Hobbit. Well, The Hobbit was originally a short story.
What if they're scary?
They're not.
No, I avoided it for that long, and then someone just pointed out to me that they were lying to you.
If you have played Dungeons and Dragons and haven't seen Lord of the Rings,
I've played Dungeons and Dragons. Okay.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, dude. That it's insane to me.
You know, what's funny is I know like the things that like are like inspired by it more than I know the original thing. Because I know like there's a game I like, Dragon's Dogma, where like there's a sword that like glows, and when you're in the presence of a certain enemy, and I like that sword.
When was that? That's a direct rip-off.
It's a direct. Dragon's Dogma is, the guy said it was his D&D campaign that he managed to get made into a game, and it's just references to everything.
Yeah, because that sword is the sword that
it glows blue.
Has. Yep. When orcs are around.
Yeah, and in that game there aren't orcs. There's like goblins and then like lizard men, and I don't remember which one it glows in probably in the presence of goblins.
Wow,
but like I know
cool.
that.
That's cool.
But yeah, I already have a hard time visualizing things, so like I'm in the habit of like looking up fan art.
Yeah.
When I get to a book. Steampunk, I'm like, I don't need as much of a foundation.
No.
Made for in Steampunk is, you've seen Victorian era stuff. Imagine robots.
Yes.
And then steam coming out. Anything gets a bonus point for me, by the way, if they explain why there's like steam. coming out.
Yes.
Um,
No, I understand that. Because, I mean, sometimes I'll get into a thing or a book or a movie and I'll look at it and go, that's just feasibly not working for me.
yeah,
That's sometimes how my brain thinks.
I deeply dislike seeing in steampunk, or like I guess I've only really seen this in cosplay. But when there's just gears over everything, and I'm like, that doesn't.
Yeah, what is it for?
That would be like in now if like sunglasses we just put like microchips over it.
But in all fairness, though, you're talking about, it could be a fashion thing. Could be.
It could be.
And so it's all right to have that
Yeah.
clog earrings or something.
That's see, even I was gonna be okay with it, but then remember, like seeing like a vest with like gears on it. I'm like, come on, that doesn't count.
Well, why not?
I don't know. It's like that doesn't make it steampunk. Like you can't just like put the technology.
What if they're rust color,
Well,
bronze color? See, I mean, you never know.
now there is a book that I listened to immediately after finishing this book because I didn't realize like. I thought this book was amazing, and it still is, but like, oh, it's not as original as I thought it was because it was like my first steampunk book.
Oh,
Which isn't a negative. It was just like, oh, it was paying. They're all doing this. It's not a negative or a positive. But they do a lot in explaining why the steam come out. Why do things look? Why do they use copper? And it's called Aeronaut's Windlass.
oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, and in that setting, like the environment is different, and it's not clear if it's Earth or not. But they say like an event happened, and the world broke, and now it's like this.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is so full of oxygen and like moisture that metal will rust quickly, except copper. So now everyone has to have copper over metal.
Gotcha.
So,
That makes sense.
that's the thing that I really like.
Yeah. I when I always liked steampunk, I mean, you have all the different genres, and I've liked it in anime and other things, I think it's pretty cool. I like this book on how they, combine the two, Victorian, English, and,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So, like, I really, for some reason, something in my brain really likes, like, the street urchin sweepers.
Yeah.
I don't know, so, like, anytime I see that, something lights up in my brain. I'm like, that's so fun. That's like
Yeah.
a weak point for me. It's like something about that has such a charm to it.
Yeah.
In the real world, that is child labor. But, like,
True.
but, like, in a setting, I don't know, it's so fun when they're like, "Oi, Gov, we gotta." I
Hey,
can't.
Governor.
There we go. I can't do accents.
Let me sweep your chimney.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't. And that's like British. A lot of British genre stuff. It's just innately charming.
Yes.
Um.
You have the high class, and then the
Yeah.
the hunter guy. What?
What?
Yo,
Yeah.
Charlie.
Y'all.
Yeah. And then you have the guy that is really poor. You can barely understand.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, mate? Where you want to go? Yeah, we go over here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that.
I mean, already I'm having fun. I'm in it. Whatever this story is you're doing, I'm for it. I'm here for it.
But back to the book. I think it was enjoyable, and it's funny talking about it. Makes me think about it and kind of, I like that. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And this is like this is a thing people say that I can't do, but I can recognize when like something just isn't for me, but it's still good.
Yeah.
And this was definitely like I appreciate so much about this, but I am I just turned 27.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like I said, it was enjoyable. I think for the age range, I think it's good. I think even some adults will like it if they're into that.
I mean,
yeah. If you've read the whole story, forget about it. I could see how that book would be just sick.
If I was a kid, I would have loved this.
Yeah.
I still enjoy it now, and this is definitely something where it's like if I have a kid, this is gonna be this will be one of the books I'll be like, you should check this out. I'll tell my kid you should check this out. No, I'm gonna make them
just make them read it.
I'm gonna make them read all the books that I want them to, so I have someone else to talk to about it. Yeah, and like once they hit 13, I'm gonna hand them Heroes Die, and I'll be like, it's time for you to grow up.
Yeah, that's the book.
Yeah,
That's the book.
Welcome to adulthood.
Welcome. welcome. No, that is a good book though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think that like everything was trying to do it, pulled it off.
yeah,
Like any issue I have is just my personal preference as far as like action and
I like
pacing.
the way you put that because that's the truth. Yeah.
Like when it was like slow, I was like, I would have liked a fight scene, but like that's not on the story because it wasn't that kind of story.
Because it wasn't that kind of story.
Yeah.
And even the fight scenes weren't that big of fight scenes.
No, it was more. It was a child's idea of a fight scene.
Right.
You know? Like,
it was more adventure.
Yeah. It wasn't. They weren't fights. It was an
Right.
action adventure experience.
You know, when the carriage originally got commandeered by the Fly-waymen.
Which I still think is one of the funnest. I can see their body movement just going like, no, Fly-waymen. I was laughing in my car. I was having such a good time. That is.
You mean the highwaymen? No, the Fly-waymen.
They're the guys are like, no, we're not highwaymen. We fly and stuff. Like, yeah, good for them.
And I get it. I get the whole steampunk thing and the balloon thing. But if you're a robber, could you pick the slowest thing? Remember when she's taking the thing and the guy's running after it? I'm like, dude, it's a balloon.
Yeah.
It's a balloon, dude.
Yeah, that's part of the charm of this series. As far as I can tell,
you can make a damn dog, but you can't make suitable engine.
Yeah, this is like a little like a rope to throw over and stuff.
Yeah,
It's such
that's not what the story's about.
Yeah, but it's an innocent adventure story.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it is. And I really love the dog. The dog was freaking cool.
Yeah, so you're more. Okay, so so there's two teams. There's the robot dog and the robot dragon. You're more for the dog?
I like the robot dog, and one of the reasons I kind of enjoyed it is because, I mean, it's funny because a lot of people didn't have any of those, right? Because they were always made to be, oh my gosh, you have a...
Yeah, didn't you have to like smuggle it in?
Yeah. And then B, you never truly knew its intention. In the beginning, it was owned by a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And he ends up saving the day, kind of, in different aspects. And it's like, I was always waiting for that hammer to drop with him.
The betrayal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when you started it a little bit before I did, and you were like, the dog was like always the highlight for you, especially like leaving the message.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the best. Yeah,
I liked leaving the ash piles and stuff.
Yes.
That is a good setup too for like the animal sidekick in the story, which is like, is it up to something? Because there's no way to verify what this robot dog is up to.
Right, and I don't know if that character's in another book or because that would totally make sense. If he makes an appearance somewhere else, then it would make sense. So that's what I mean. Some of the things I think
you're like, I need to know the context of this.
You never know, but
that's definitely something where if it was in a previous book, that would be so fun for like the villains have it, or like it got lost and bandits stole it, and then it ends up in the like if that's the recurring thing for this dog to like be passed around. You're like, what's going on with this dog?
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
and those things just make it all so much better to me.
Mm-hmm. I believe it probably does.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Well, maybe you guys could let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Correct us. Call us idiots.
Yeah.
Spit on us. Whatever you got to.
I don't know about spitting on it.
Oh.
Maybe you, not me.
We'll see. Yeah, I think
we're good. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and thanks for the recommendation. We definitely are going to be doing recommendations. One Cody, one me, one you, and we'll try to keep up that aspect of it, so we get more rounded and listen to different things.
Yeah, and just a quick reminder to people that if you want to be a part of the Chapter 1 algorithm gang,
yes.
If you don't know what that is, it's people who just help out by like commenting anything, so we get a little boost in like engagement. So like comment a period, comment your favorite kind of robot. Anything to anything, to help out and
anything that steampunk oriented. And in the end, because I'm an artist, I'm always thinking of that. I mean, man, send us fan art that you guys like for the books that we're doing. We might be having pretty good surprise in the next month or so, maybe. But go ahead and do that. Mention things like that because it's great to hear from you, and we really want to try to make it like you guys part of this whole thing. So we might not agree, like a family, but it'll still be great. So definitely send us something.
Yeah, and then because we can put stuff on here now.
Look at that.
Yeah. Or maybe I just won't even do anything with it this time. Maybe we'll just have a green screen.
Maybe.
No, I'll figure something out.
No,
I have to figure something out to do with it every time.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. Definitely tune in next time. I don't know. Do they even say tune in next time?
We can.
Tuning
Is
in?
there like a? Well, isn't it like old? What was it like? Tune in,
Because you
tune out.
tune in, yeah. I mean but you're not tuning anything now.
But that would work if we're gonna be like old London days, right?
Oh yes, well, you got to tune in. Tune in next time for chapter 1.
Oh,
Should have been. That's the end of that chapter.
that's the end of that chapter,
All right, guys.
and it is.
All right.